Hello and welcome everyone in the Angular 17 series. This is the third video of the series, and today we'll be talking about components. We have a lot to talk about today, so let's not waste any more time and dive right in. Right, I have another running minimal Angular project, and this is how it looks. And the thing about components that we will start with is template. Components template is basically the HTML part of your component. Whatever is rendered in your browser is the component template. Component template lives in two places. It's either inside of the component decorator itself, like so, or whenever it gets bigger, you can have it in a separate file as well. Let's create another file called app.component.html and move our template in there. And then instead of using template, we'll use the property template URL and point out to the new file we created. If we save our changes, it should work, but before we do that, I'll change the text in there just to recognize that something different happened. And here we go, it works. Same thing for component styles. If you have any CSS styles that you'd like to add, if it's like minimal CSS styles, you may want to add it directly in here as well, like so. So let's change the H1 color to blue. But whenever your CSS grows bigger, it could be a better idea to have it in a separate file like what we did with the HTML. So let's create the CSS file, and then let's move our CSS in there. And instead of styles, I'll be using style URL to point out to the new file we created. I'll make a slight change in our CSS to recognize our changes. So let's change blue to red and save everything. Now it works. Perfect. Then we'll be talking about component interpolation or dynamic data. So if we have a variable that we would like to present in our template, this is how it should be done. So we have the variable name equals to Tariq, and in here I would like to say hello Tariq, or hello whatever the name it is inside of the variable. So in order to extract the value out of the variable, I will be using the double curly braces. This is the Angular way of doing it, and as you see, it is working as expected. All right, then we have something called property binding. Property binding in Angular is a way of binding a property in your TS file with an attribute in an HTML element. And the way we do that is as following. If we have an image with a source that links to that cool GIF that you see, and instead of hard coding the URL inside of the HTML element itself, I would like to have it in a variable, and then I will pass the variable to the source attribute. But as you see, it doesn't work out of the box. So in order to tell Angular that this is the variable, not a value, I will be wrapping up the source attribute with square brackets. And let's save our changes, and it works. So this is how you bind a property with an attribute in Angular. Last but not least, something else that we need to talk about is event handling. So like property binding, you can also attach some event handling to an HTML element. And this time, instead of using square brackets, I'll be using normal braces. And inside of that, I will type the event that I would like to handle. I'll be handling the click event for the image. Once you click on the image, I'll change the name, the variable that we already have, to Tom. Let's try that out. As you see, once I click the image, the value has changed to Tom immediately without refreshing the browser, which is awesome. So let's declare a function called change name and move our logic in there. And that function is getting called inside of the event handling of the HTML. Let's see if that is going to work. Let's click on the image, and it is working. Perfect. All right, my friends, that was quick. That was it for today's video. I hope you're learning something new today, and can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye.